All right, let's talk about this video. Trigger alert. It's this video on the screen. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I want to play it, but let me just read a little bit before we get into playing this video. This was posted on the AKG blog official. It says, lady hospitalized with disfigured and swollen face after being assaulted by a man. She refused to give her number. The incident happened in Texas, USA. Now, some people have come since then to say it's a skit, right? But when people say it's a skit, they are pretending it's not true. I'm always like, it doesn't matter. If it's good enough to make you relate, if it's good enough to trigger people into a massive debate online, then we need to talk about it. And the fact that it's a skit will be completely irrelevant at that point. Okay, because it doesn't matter what this is. It's not like a celebrity that we're defaming or anything like that. Anyway, some of you might know her, I don't know her, right? But let's talk about the topic. There was a topic I was engaged in a conversation earlier today on Clubhouse, right? And the title was let me see if I can remember. The title was, who handles rejection better, men or women? You know, my opinion is that when it comes to romantic gestures, romantic context, women have a hard time handling rejections. Not necessarily a fault of their own, it's just the way it's set up. Men experience rejection all the time, women don't experience as much rejection. And there's nothing to compare there, because men are not women, women are not women. It's just two different experiences, two different worlds. See, another useless comparison, you know. But if you have to put it on paper, obviously men are used to rejections. Either we're talking about romance initiation, or in the middle of romance already. Men are generally expected to be able to handle a little no. If they can't handle it, they will get shamed by both men and women of our society. It's just what it is, right? So that was but then the conversation, I've now found out that the background of the conversation was this video right here, right? And it says again, lady hospitalized with disfigured and swollen face after being assaulted by a man. She refused to give her number to. So, well, that's crazy. That's a crazy news. But I want to play this video and then we'll talk more about it, right?
Me in my face with a brick, and all these black men just
with a brick, okay, in the face with a brick. I'm not gonna say what he did. You figure it out, right? So just can keep the video safe.
What? And they don't give a fuck. Yeah, this man hit me.
All right, this person doesn't seem like they are well contained. Doesn't seem like a person is rational. Looks like already I smell the vibe of a crackhead. Okay, so that doesn't mean they deserve to be assaulted. I'm just saying there's probably a lot more to the context, right? If you want to get into the conversation, it's always wrong. Physical assault is always wrong. Okay, either action or reaction, it doesn't matter. Okay, either we're talking about action or reaction. They are both actions, and they are both, well, there's massive consequences for engaging in such behavior. Okay, but what happens if somebody slapped me first? That was the direction the conversation went. What happens if a woman slaps me first? What happens? The question is, what happens when you find yourself in crisis? That's the question. Okay, that's the real question. Right? It happens to be a slap, but it could be something else tomorrow. Okay, it could be verbal, it could be emotional, and worst case scenario, it could be physical, right? Either way, you're asking the same question because it feels the same way at an emotional level. Now, the physical one have grave consequences. Someone can be taken out completely, and that can be irreversible. Verbal, emotional, at many levels can be irreversible too, but the honest truth is that when you're engaged in human relationships or collaborations with other people, you will rub each other off the wrong way. It will happen. It's inevitable. All right. So when that kind of crisis happens, when crisis happen in general, if you're still here, if God has blessed you enough to have a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance to still be here, hopefully, okay, what would you do? What should you do, right? Well, we have a bunch of Indomie generation young men saying, I will slap back. And somehow they think they are paying someone else back. Somehow they think they are wiser than Michelle Obama, who says, when we go low, we go high. They think, wow, she must be a doormat. She must be dumb to be saying that. The Indomie generation say, if you go low, I'll go to hell. That's what the Indomie soft ass generation, that's what they're saying. And they actually think they are wiser. Okay? If that's how you think, I'm patient, but you go collect.
Sorry.
And you'll be lucky if all it is just a slap. And I had to tell the young man, I said, listen, if I slapped you, okay, out of nowhere, seemingly unprovoked, first of all, there's a good chance that it's not unprovoked. Your opinion at that point in time is that it's unprovoked. Okay? Understandably, because you didn't see it coming. You probably don't know what you did wrong, right? But if I've been watching you for a minute and somehow I slapped you, right? And you try to retaliate instantly without assessing what is going on, I will break your knees. I will completely destroy you. Yes, you will collect on top of collect.
Sorry.
Okay? Because we read you with a law. Madness is there's levels to madness. If you think you're mad, there's somebody madder than you. The same thing goes for me. So I'm not saying that from a place of arrogance. What I'm saying is that you're not wiser than people that say when we go low, we go high. You're not wiser than them. You're actually dumber if you kick against that in the name of lie. No, we should just give it to them with the water immediately. No.
Sorry.
You will collect. This is real world. There's a lot more going on than what you can see at any point in time. The first thing you should always do when you find yourself in crisis is to stay cool, calm, collected, assess the situation. Okay? Now, if they're ongoing assaulting you, I'm not going to say sit down there and be collecting it. Obviously, that doesn't make any sense, right? But I'm saying somebody woos you from behind and you're like, what's happened? If you're still there and you're able to say what's happened, calm down, because that woes may not be meant for you. Right? There's so many other things can be going on, but if what you want to do is retaliate, you go collect. Anyway, I digress. That was the conversation that I had earlier with regards to response, all the debates that's going on about this online. So this young lady, so she was saying somebody smashed her on the face. She ended up in the hospital.
I'm just trying to take my friend out from 5 years ago.
This person does not seem stable for me.
Because I haven't been out all year. Like all year I haven't.
Yes, I am prejudging.
I don't even care about my face because I'm.
Yeah, but this is the real world. You will be prejudged.
It's been 12.
She's still crying. That's very sad. It's terrible that she went through that, regardless of what's going on, right? But anyway, there was a backstory. So shout out to Linda AKG blog. That was Linda AKG. So Nick at Night, shout out to Nick at Night. She now put some kind of backstory to it, okay? They said Twitter users are pulling up this video of her. So she slapped, if you look at the video on the left hand side, let me make it a little bigger for you to see. The video on the left hand side, let's play that back again. Let's see if we can play that. She's talking to someone, she slapped the dude, and she walked away and she started twerking. This is what sparked off the conversation. This is why people were saying, wow. So that's a person that everybody's trying to protect. Why should she not get slapped? Pause. By a brick in the face. Does that ever make any sense? Well, here's the thing. If your first emotion, let's just pretend like it's the same story. Okay, because Nick and I pointed out that she's wearing two different shirts, two different scenarios, which is a good point, right? But let's just assume it's the same, which is the point that a bunch of lames on the Twitter are trying to say, right? Let's assume it's the same situation. If your first reaction is to overreact and slap people back or curse people back out because they've cursed you out, yeah, Because you're caught up in your emotions, you're not playing equal, you're not matching energy. There's anger involved. You're probably going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt yourself if that's how you think. You will hurt your reputation. You will hurt other people, obviously, but you will hurt yourself in return. You will hurt your relationships because you think you're matching energy when emotions are involved. Emotions no be your mates. There's a good chance you're overreacting. Just a chance. And your overreactions, all your reactions are actions you're responsible for. You don't get, especially gentlemen, you don't get to turn around and say they made me do it. This is the real world. You don't get to do that. If you end up hurting somebody and they end up in a hospital, you might go to jail. Or worse, we're talking purely emotional, verbal stuff, and you just run your mouth, and then you attack back without taking the time to simmer, cool off, have a conversation. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. Maybe that person needs to hear from you in a stable manner, right? You'll continue to collect. It's never, reactions will never be an excuse to move mad. They are actions you are responsible for. And by the way, all actions are reactions by default. You just may not see what the initial actions are. It might calm down. I tell you, it might calm down. Please be calming down. I tell you. All right? All right. Watch the next one. I'll see you on the next video.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.